at Gray Ops CNC, and we're going to take a closer look at what really makes them tick and what makes them so special. All right. Hey, Dave, how's it going?
Good. How are you doing?
Good. Dave's the owner, founder of Gray Ops. So, Dave, why don't you tell us a little bit about what Gray Ops is and how you got started?
I started as a farmer, went to Penn State for engineering, came back to the family farm, and that was really hard on my body. So I wanted to get into something else, and just the engineer in me wanted to push the limits a little bit farther than farming. So I bought a Haas VF4 in 2019 and started playing around with that at night and came up with the first product because I've been competitive shooting since 2010, so I've got a little bit of experience with that and what products were needed. So I picked the first product that I thought would be a good hit and something that I would personally use, and we started making them, and they sold.
What was that first product?
That was our tack table. Tack table with a built-in Arca clamp.
So you were farming and making products at the same time?
Yep. Night shift and day shift.
That's a lot of work.
Yep. In 2021, I went full-time here.
How many products you got now?
To be honest, I don't know.
You don't know. Okay.
Probably 40, 50 products.
You know, in 2-3 years, that's an amazing amount of growth. How many machines do you have now? You started off with one, you got two, and where have you grown?
We started off with the Haas vertical milling centers, and those are great. We have 3 of those, but then instead of continuing to add that type of machine, which would require more people, we decided to take a big leap and move into DMG Mori horizontals, which have automated pallet pools so they can move work pieces in and out on their own and run unattended. Mm-hmm. So we got our first one of those about 1.5 years ago, and that was huge. I think those are probably equivalent to the productivity of 3 or 4 vertical machines, if not more, because you can run it at night. And then we filled that up, and we actually just bought another one about a month ago. Mm-hmm. So we've got, between the two, 25 pallets that we can load up and send in automatically when we're not here.
Wow.
One thing that I definitely strive for is quality. And if there's something that needs added to make it nicer, even though it might affect cost a little bit, we try and do it. We just want the nicest products that we possibly can, and hope that people look at Gray Ops and say, oh, that's quality stuff, I'm going to buy from them again.
Let's go see the shop.
Yep, let's go.
This is the original shop. It used to be an equipment shed. Pretty basic, no electric, no anything really.
For the farm?
Yep. And I pulled everything out, scrubbed the floors. We had a white metal put in, we brought electric in, and then I put my first machine in, which is up over there. And it was pretty basic. It was a machine, a toolbox, and a laptop. Then that machine started getting pretty busy at night, and I only had 3 or 4 hours to work before it was bedtime. So then we put the second machine in so I could play on this one while that one ran the plates and stuff like that. So this was our second one, and our third one is on that side. When it was time to think about, well, where do we go from here? We're going to start getting pretty tight. Our electrics, knocking on the door. We need to upgrade service. We need to upgrade air. So we decided to just take the plunge. We're going to put an addition on. We're going to put big boy toys in, and snowball from there. About 1.5 years ago, we wanted more space and the ability to put some bigger machines in. Knowing what we were going to do with the space, we were able to add a lot of things in. Believe it or not, before we had this side, we had no running water up here.
Oh, really?
So there was really no bathroom, no sinks. The machines take a lot of coolant, and it's a water oil mixture. So we were constantly carrying water up from the house in 5-gallon buckets. So this was a huge life improvement, and this was our first edition. So shortly after the floor was cured, we moved the 500 millimeter horizontal in. So we're trying to add as much automation in as we can so that we can focus on making products instead of actually doing the work.
So this is upgrade machine number 1?
Yeah, so this was our first taste of what automation looks like. This is a 500 millimeter horizontal, and the tombstones are pretty big. So this is the tombstone that has all the work pieces scattered around it, and this particular machine holds 5 of these. So it can send one in, finish it, put it away, grab the next one. It can do that 5 times, which is huge. You leave at the end of the day and all 5 are loaded up, it'll still be running when you show up in the morning. So gaining those extra hours while we sleep is kind of how we offer products at a better price point and just be more competitive and quicker to market. This work envelope is massive. And actually in here, we're cutting a tombstone base for our smaller machine. We only have 5 tombstones, but there's probably 20 products that this can make at any point in time. And to do that, you've got to have a big variety of tooling. So if you walk around the back, this is just to store tools. And watch it. 240 tools. I think we've probably only got it halfway filled up at this point, but lots of room to grow. This is our newest one. It's basically the same as this. It cuts smaller work pieces, but more of them. That holds 5 tombstones, and this one holds 21. So I'll bring a pallet over. We can. But it's 3 layers high. But the beauty of having 21 work pieces, we can kind of make things on demand.
Mm-hmm.
And these tombstones are obviously a little bit smaller than what the other machine can handle, but we hold more of them. These are our scope mounts being made. They're 20 MOA, 36 millimeter right now. Spindle's working on. The beauty of the tombstones is you can work on all 3 sides of the part. So it's not just square to the part. The tombstone can rotate and you can pick up the sides. And on this particular tombstone, we do that on every single part.
Okay.
So we're hitting all the angles. This is what is mounted to that tombstone. They're all full studded on. So we mount the scope mount on once, and then we can change it to the different orientations on the tombstone without ever removing it. So it's just a twist of a Allen wrench, and we can pop these off and index them to whichever angle we want. And that's been, now we can change that tombstone out in 10 minutes as opposed to the first way we started took 45 minutes.
Yeah.
Here's our CMM for inspecting all of the scope mounts. We wanted to basically have data on every single one of them. So once they're made from the machine, we laser them, and then they come over here and they've already got serial numbers on them. So we can set this machine up to measure the mount and both ring caps and give us a report, and it automatically saves it by serial number into a folder. So if there's ever a mount in question down the road, we can pull that file up and see what happened with it.
That's incredible. And you said every single one. It's not just a sample.
So far, every single one's going across. I mean, I'm sure there will be some point where it's just not feasible.
Yeah.
But at this point, we've got extra help, and that's just one of the guys' jobs. As soon as they come off the machine, they get lasered, and they come get measured, and then they're passed through. And that's just another way for me to still keep my eye on everything. I'm not actually the one measuring them, but every night after we do measuring, I'll come up and I'll click through all the reports and make sure that everything's okay with them.
All right, so we've got a few other products here. Why don't you walk us through what these are?
So this is probably one of our flagship designs. After a year or two of being in business, this one came out, and this is what really kind of took off for us. This is called our Mini Plate Pro, and it all bases off of how do we get newer shooters stable and get the reticle to stop moving when they're shooting a positional stage. So traditionally, you'd have a barricade and a sandbag of some sort, and you'd set the rifle down, and you'd have to shoot. Well, how do we get them more stable? So a wider surface area accomplishes that, and this is just a really fancy, convenient way to get more surface area. So that clips on, really simple, quick. It's even loaded down with weights because weights reduces recoil. And yeah, this was a home run as far as getting newer shooters more impacts. Excellent. So that's the Mini Plate Pro.
Actually, it's weird seeing it like that because I have your bag stop built into that. I'm so used to seeing my own.
Yeah, there's a few different accessories that mount to it. And then a lot of you guys may know us for our weights. We make a big variety of different weights for guns, and that's basically just to balance the gun out better. A lot of guns are really heavy back here, so whenever you go to shoot, it's kind of like dragging you down, and you want that perfectly balanced. So we probably make a dozen different types of weights and variations. This is one of them. This is kind of our fancier version. It's an aluminum case with a brass insert, and you can stack them on top of each other if you need more weight. So there's this one, and then this one would stack on top, and if you remove the lid, the inside, we can swap this out to aluminum if you like the way that the widened weight feels, but you don't want the actual weight. You can swap this out and still have the case there. So these are our hybrid weights. And then this is the most recent addition, the Garmin chronograph. Basically took the market by storm a couple weeks ago and blew everything else away. So we came up with a mount for it that lets you conveniently use this and just make a really good chronograph even better. So this mount will mount in a tripod, and it'll also connect to our scope mount pick rail by sliding it on, and it's a push button lock, so you can slide it off. And we also have the arm attachment, so you can attach this to the arm and then mount it to the side of the gun. I'll mount it over here so you can see it. This product showed up by UPS Friday at 6 o'clock.
Last Friday.
It was probably 2 weeks now.
Okay.
But from Friday at 6 o'clock, Monday, I had a functioning prototype. We went through 2 different variations, actually a complete redesign. And by Thursday, we had a finished, completed product. Our production fixture was in place, and we released it to the public in 6 days.
That's incredible. Honestly, I didn't even know you had that before I saw you carrying it.
So that's one of the really neat things about having a small shop with automated equipment, and frankly, me being a shooter that knows the products, I also know how to design and program and prototype and get it production ready on the machine. So you can go from idea to finished part very, very quickly.